In this video, I'll be talking about the application account and how to send transactions from it using inner transactions. All smart contracts, when deployed to a network, are assigned an application ID. This application ID is unique to that application, and even if the application is deleted, it will never be reused for another application. This is the basis on which we calculate the application's unique individual addresses, and as a result, they do not possess a private key. To calculate an application address, or rather the public key, you must first convert the application ID to an 8-byte long big-endian byte array and concatenate it with the prefix app ID. Finally, you hash this value using SHA-512-256, and this gives you the public key for the application ID. If you're using any of the SDKs, there will be a way to calculate this address by providing just an application ID, so don't worry about remembering this process. Additionally, this can be done in till, however, it will usually be simpler to use the app_params_get opcode and retrieve the app address. Much like a normal account you may use, application accounts have most of the same features and functionality. For example, they must maintain their own minimum balance requirements. This is important when applications opt into ASAs, deploy their own smart contracts, and especially when creating and managing box storage. Now we understand the basics of application accounts. How do we actually use them? This is where inner transactions come in. An inner transaction is an entirely new transaction that has been created from within the smart contract itself and is subject to many of the same rules of the AVM, just like any other transaction. For example, if the smart contract attempts to send an ASA to an account which is not opted into that ASA, then the transaction will fail. Alternatively, if it attempts to send a transaction from an address it's not authorized to send from, that will also fail. If the inner transaction fails, the entire outer transaction will also fail, and nothing will be committed to a block. One thing to note about inner transactions is a total of 256 can be sent from just a single application call. To begin creating an inner transaction, use the opcode itxn_begin. Then all the parameters are set using the itxn_ field, followed by an immediate argument for the field name. Finally, when you're ready to submit the inner transaction, use itxn_submit, and the inner transaction will be evaluated immediately before progressing on with the remainder of your smart contract. By default, inner transactions will be sent from the application's own address, and any transaction fees associated with the inner transactions will also be deducted from this account. A common design pattern is to hardcode the inner transactions to have a fee of 0, forcing the outer transaction to cover the cost using fee pooling. Inner transactions may also be sent within their own groups using the itxn_next opcode. This is done before submitting the inner transaction and can help when constructing composable transactions to other smart contracts. Lastly, one limitation to be aware of is that you cannot use or sign smart signatures directly within inner transactions.